Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBit Solutions. I hope that you guys have all had an amazing weekend. This is going to be our Sunday Stock Talk, so if you guys are tuning in for the first time, what's going on? My name is Ricky. We run the largest YouTube channel and the largest private Facebook group in the world for those who day trade in the stock market. We have over 254,000 members within our free Facebook group. If you guys like what it is that you see on YouTube and you guys would like to stay connected, please, it's the first link down below. Feel free to join if you guys have any questions. Again, be sure to share that in the comment section. Don't forget to drop a like if I earned your like in this video, and then also don't forget to subscribe if you guys haven't already. So one of the only things that I ask you to do within this Sunday Stock Talk is, because the market is open Monday through Friday, we take Sunday to prepare and talk about the top stocks that you guys see value in. All I ask you is to make sure that you post whatever stock you see value in the ticker call out format. You see Ismail right here. He's going to be sharing the ticker call out format. This just shares the support, resistance, entry point, sell point, and then your overall stop loss, your trade plan, essentially. And the reason we do that is to empower you to make sure that you take time to plan out your trade, not just on how much potential profit you can make, but also the potential for loss or that risk management and stuff like that. So I'm going to be breaking down whatever stocks you guys want me to. I'm going to be doing about 8 to 10 of stocks that you guys share. But at the end, I'm going to be sharing, I'm going to be giving an update on what's going on with natural gas. I'm not too sure if you guys paid attention to natural gas, but it pushed up, or you guys pushed up almost 10% from the last 2 hours on Friday. So really excited to see what this week has to offer. Things have not looked like they've been getting any better. We're getting more infections, more people unfortunately passing away from this virus. And it's just, I don't think that we've seen the bottom just yet, but let me know in the comment section what you guys think, if you guys think we're close to the end of seeing the market sell off. It's definitely a very unfortunate time, but a very interesting time. I don't think a lot of people get to ever say they're a part of this. It's not something like we ever want to necessarily experience, but I think it's very interesting, right? Just how people react, how the market reacts, and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get right to it. All I ask you is to make sure that you guys post it in the ticker call out format. So let me know what stocks it is that you guys want me to break down for you. Here we go. Alrighty, so we have a couple people talking about American Airlines, but again, I'm not seeing anyone posted in the ticker call out format. So another week of selling off, in my honest opinion. What's going on, Drew Fit? What's up? What's up? Glad to be a part of the LPP team. What's going on, Arturo? What's up? What's up? So here we go, Tyler. Thank you. So we got ticker symbol. Where are we at? So ticker symbol ZM. Let's go ahead and break that one down. So every stock that I break down is going to be here on the left-hand side. I like that you brought this one up. ZM has been one that's been pushing up as the overall market has still been selling off, just because of, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the online schools and online or overall colleges and businesses have been using Zoom communication a little bit more proactive, as it makes a little bit more sense that there's more accounts being created to use this specific software. So overall, I do understand why it is that you're bringing this up. Overall uptrend was a very consistent uptrend pattern. Hit highs of 160, it pulled back. We're right around the SMA line. The MACD, the RSI, all that looks good. One of the things that I love to remind our traders is that confirmation is key. And indicators are great to use as a reference, but you never want to take a position because off of an indicator, as it never means that it has to reverse. The MACD is showing signs of a potential reversal, and it would be great that if we do begin to see higher highs, if we break above 130, if we actually begin to push above the EMA line and begin to recover. So I see why this is in your watch list, 100%. Just please, it pays to be patient in this market. And again, with great volatility comes great responsibility. So I think that we can all agree that market conditions right now are a little bit on the crazy side. And that just means that we have to be a little bit more maybe selective with what we choose to, where we choose to put our money, right? So make sure that you set yourself up for success and that you wait for the confirmation. I would hate for someone to buy right here and then it ends up just getting rejected and you ended up buying at the very top of an overall reversal. It's best just to give it a little bit more time, wait for confirmation. And if you see that the trend and the overall direction is in your favor, then it can make it that much easier for you to be able to add more to your position size when things are going according to plan. But I really do appreciate you. I actually really like ZM and its setup that it has right now. So I think you did a great job with that call out. So here we go. We got Danny calling out SQQQ. For all my people tuning in, so what happens? So is SQQQ, for those that are not familiar with this is a NASDAQ ETF. So when the overall market goes up, what does SQQQ do? So when the overall market or NASDAQ goes up, what does SQQQ do? What's going on, Jonathan? What's up? What's up? So when the overall market goes up, what does SQQQ do? Goes down, right? Does the inverse. So this is something that we've shared from the very beginning. I would not recommend trading ETFs for everyone. Obviously, it comes at a greater form of risk, but again, there's no question that there's great opportunity, right? As the market began to aggressively sell off, then we saw SQs begin to push up, right? And it pushed up over 100%. So there's definitely potential to make money if the direction is in your favor. So if the market is beginning to consolidate, if it's finding a support or something of that sort, then, especially if you're a newer trader, I wouldn't risk it. But if we then begin to see, right, so one of the things that I like to pay attention to, it's /NQ. If we then begin to see that we begin to sell off and pull back and drop below 7,500 and begin to head to 7,000, if the direction is that clear, then of course it makes sense that you could, take a couple day trades on SQs as the overall direction would be in your favor. One of the things that I do want to say is that SQs has been getting rejected by the SMA line. Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't have to at the end of the day. Right now, I would say that we're at a critical point for SQs where we're consolidating below the SMA line. Yes, I do agree that it does have upside potential if the market actually begins to sell off once again. And I don't think that we have enough confirmation of that just yet. I do agree. And this is all based off of your opinion. But it doesn't matter what it is that I think. It doesn't matter what you think. It's, we can think that we haven't seen the worst. I personally, and let me know what you guys think yourself. I personally do not believe we have seen the bottom of the overall market right now. I think things can continue to get worse. And with that being said, I do believe that it's only a matter of time for the market to continue to sell off. But I'm no one to try to trade against the overall direction, right? As of right now, SQ and the overall market's really consolidating. We don't know if the market's going to try to push up a little bit more before it continues to sell off. So please, let's just do ourselves a favor and try to really test and challenge ourselves when it comes down to the overall patience. So here we go. All right, we got ticker symbol AAL. Thank you again, Dave, for posting in the ticker call out format. So, all right, here we go. So American Airlines dropped another 6%, almost 7% on Friday. I really don't know what to tell you about when it comes down to this one. If I'm not mistaken, American Airlines and overall huge airline companies are one of the ones that are really taking a hit when it comes down to what's been going on with the coronavirus. Obviously, it's been very unfortunate. There's been a lot of businesses that have been hit hard, but I would have to say, based off of my understanding, cruise lines and overall airlines are definitely one of the top contenders of who have experienced, I think, seen the worst, right, when it comes down to just less customers and overall larger market drop. As of right now, yes, I do agree that American Airlines is very oversold. I do agree that it is at a potential price point based off of where it was at. American Airlines was trading at $30. Trust me, American Airlines is a company that I added to my watch list of companies that I would love to see make a recovery. I do think that because we have not seen the worst, this is my opinion, I do believe because we have not seen the worst for what this coronavirus and this overall market downfall that we've experienced, I don't believe that then American Airlines has seen the worst either. Do you get what I mean? I do agree that it's very oversold, and maybe for some long-term investors, this is when you potentially, can consider buying. But at the end of the day, confirmation is super important for me. And as of right now, we have no indication of a recovery. I would rather be someone that stays more patient and waits, not to try to find the bottom of something. I'm not here to try to predict the lowest point that American Airlines is going to be. I just don't want to put my money in something right now that I know can potentially continue to sell off because things are simply not getting better. So what I would do is, if you want to day trade this and you think that it's going to, find a support here and then begin to push up and find the same resistance or a short-term swing trade, that's up to you, but that's definitely not for everyone. At the end of the day, I would add this to my watch list and follow up with it and have this to be a stock that I follow up with, once things do begin to get a little bit better, that I would potentially see this to be a long-term investment. And I think a lot of people would see eye to eye to that when it comes down to American Airlines and what it has to offer. So here we go. We have quite a bit of you right now. What's going on, Jared? So we got KO. Here we go. Alrighty. So brochures. Okay. Overall, very consistent uptrend pattern. We saw a really big drop all the way down to sub 60 during the aftermarket session. So I could see why you're bringing this one up. Overall, it has a very consistent uptrend pattern. It does a very good job holding above the overall SMA line. I do agree that it is on the oversold side. And with that being said, if patterns, again, tend to repeat themselves, they don't always have to. We can set our alert for the overall reversal. I do see more upside potential than I potentially do see downside, as long as it stays true to this overall pattern. But it looks like it has pretty low volume. So that's the only thing I would take into consideration that would potentially hold me back from wanting to get in, as I just don't know if that volume is enough for me to feel comfortable to enter it, a trade and stuff like that. But that, again, Jared, that's just my opinion. So here we go. So we got Danny with Tesla. Let's go ahead and break down Tesla. So I think this is going to be 5. Yeah, so we'll do 5 more after this. So overall, Tesla, again, coming from highs of almost $1,000, again, when all that hype was going on with Tesla. Unfortunate downfall, and we're seeing a lot of consolidation. I think that, again, Tesla not being as of, they got a couple contracts in building those medical devices, right? Those ventilators or something like that. So I think that that's what acted as maybe as a positive catalyst when it comes down to the push up. But altogether, I still think that we have a little bit more, just like I don't think the market's done dropping, and Tesla overall not being necessarily an essential company. I think it's only a matter of time for it to continue to drop as well. Tesla trades a little bit different for sure. So if you've ever traded Tesla, this is a perfect example of how much hype can be driven into a stock, right? I think it stays very true to the overall market direction, but I've also seen that the market sometimes is selling off, but Tesla still continues to push up just because it's its own monster within itself. So Tesla definitely would not be something that if you're a complete beginner and you think that just because it's a higher cap stock that you can day trade it freely, sometimes it moves just as quick as a lower cap stock. Again, with great volatility comes great responsibility. And as of right now, we've consolidated enough here right around that $500 price point that I think that it's only a matter of time for it to begin to pull back, as overall Tesla as of right now is still very bearish. Obviously, if you want to go into this for a long-term investment, that's up to you. But again, with the understanding that I don't think that we've seen the bottom of this market, I think things can only continue to get worse. So here we go. So we got ticker symbol MIK. So what's going on, Eric? I'll go ahead and break that one down for you. MIK. Here we go. We got Michael's. Overall, consistent descending pattern. Let me ask everyone, that's obviously this is just an opinion, right? But it's trading right now at $1.74. So from everyone that is tuning in right now, right? If you worked really hard and you were looking into potentially, even a day trade or something, does this look consistent enough where you would potentially want to put your money in this? I do agree that because it pushed up 12% on Friday, that this could be potentially something that popped up in your scanner. Maybe a couple people were talking about it. It had a nice little push, but at the end of the day, again, it has these little false pushes, right? That are very short-lived, don't last a very long time, and overall continue to fall, right? It's continuously offering a descending pattern and it's selling off. So with that being said, as of right now, the overall direction is not in your favor. So I do agree it is attractive when it has a 12% day. Don't be hopeful. Understand the overall direction. If you can get in for a short little day trade because you see an intraday opportunity, that's a different monster within itself, right? But when it comes down to you wanting to go into something as maybe a beginner and you potentially want to hold it for more than just one day, then Michaels or MIK would definitely not be something, in my opinion, that would meet my criteria as overall it's a consistent descending pattern, making lower lows and making lower highs. So here it goes. Let's go ahead and break down 4 more. So, alrighty. GLD is one that's being requested quite a bit today. So we'll go ahead and break that one down. Here we go. So gold, as of right now, let me know what you guys think in the chat. But I think that right now we're at a potential critical point. If you guys see how aggressive it sold off, it pushed up. It right now is looking like it's almost finding some signs of a resistance. It does a lot of consolidation around this area and then it pulled back. It does a lot of consolidation around this area and it wouldn't be much of a surprise if it begins to pull back. Direction is not super clear and it's not very consistent with GLD. So first of all, you need to do a self-evaluation. If you're someone that doesn't work well with inconsistencies, if you're someone that doesn't manage risk very well, then this probably isn't something that you want to partake in. You just have to understand. It's not that there's anything wrong with GLD. You just have to understand what you work well with and what you don't. I do this all the time, and although I might see potential in a pharmaceutical, stock or a setup, I won't trade it just because I know that I don't work well with pharmaceutical companies and how they trade and how they work. And that's just something that I've learned from myself over the years. So at the end of the day, as of right now, GLD is doing a lot of consolidation here. It does offer a lot of downside potential based off of previous patterns, as it can randomly push up as well. But looking at previous highs and how it's gotten rejected around this general area before, it wouldn't be much of a surprise to me if it does begin to pull back. So because of that, because direction is unclear, because of the inconsistency, and because of consolidation, I would say that this would be more at a critical point that I wouldn't feel comfortable enough buying right now, not even for a day trade, as again, the direction is not super clear and it looks to be more at a resistance than it is at a support. So here we go. So DRNA, what's going on, Jonathan? Alrighty, so here we go. So DRNA, so this is a pharmaceutical company again. I love having other people share whatever stocks that they see value in. Obviously, I'm here to share my opinion. I just haven't had the best experience with pharmaceutical companies. There's a lot of misleading hype when it comes down to their patent pending for FDA approval, and it never actually passes and it just continues to sell off. This looks like it's been trading a little bit different. As of right now, I do have to say that it's, again, seeing a lot of consolidation right now. It is above the EMA line, but again, asking yourself the question, it is trading below the SMA line, and looking at the previous lows that it came at and where it's trading at right now, it wouldn't be much of a surprise if it does begin to sell off, because it's been consolidating up here for such a long time. So because of that, I find it to be more at a resistance than it is at a support. And I think that it's only going to be a matter of time for this thing to begin to make lower lows and drop back down to that $11 price point. But hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully it can continue to push up. But as of right now, direction is not super clear. So that's what I have to say about DRNA. So we have quite a bit of you guys tuning on in. I really do appreciate you guys tuning on in. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you guys are having issues when it comes down to the overall YouTube live stream, just feel free to refresh your screen. It should be able to fix it. I saw a couple of people talk about it. So I'm going to have to pause this just so I can see. So we got Evan talking about SPXS. So here we go. So this one's going to be very similar to SQQQ. This one just follows S&P 500. So this thing goes down when the market goes up, right? So SPXS follows S&P 500, and it's the inverse ETF. So when the S&P 500 falls, SPXS will go up, as we saw it go up from $12 from when the market began to sell off all the way up to highs of $28, which is 135%. Again, with great opportunity comes great responsibility, and direction is super important. Right now, if you guys wanted to pay attention to /ES, which is the S&P 500 future, you could see that the S&P 500 future is actually up already on the day, meaning that if the market were to open right now, SPXS would be down. So this is why it's super important. If you're part of our Learn Plan Profit team, I've shared this so many times. I believe it's here in the start here section, and you guys can click on this. And it's this ETF that it's this cheat sheet that we've shared so many times that talks about the correlation between the future and the ETF and the inverse ETF. And as you guys can see right here, / ES, SPXL is the bull ETF, and then SPXS is the bear, which is the inverse ETF. So it does the exact opposite. So it's super, super important for you to understand how that correlating future responds to that specific ETF or inverse ETF. And as of right now, I do agree. If the market does continue to drop, we do see a lot of potential in SPXS. Please, let's not be hopeful traders. Let's set our alerts and follow up with it when it makes sense. It's, the quality of trades that I would work towards, not the quantity. So there's no reason to enter a trade hoping that something happens when we don't have confirmation of it just yet. So here we go. I'm going to break down 2 more for you guys, and then we should be able to call it a day. So let's go ahead. I haven't done one for Brandon yet. So LVGO. What's going on, Brandon? So LVGO, here we go. So it's trading at $29. What would you guys have to say? If you guys were to say something about, if I were to ask you, is LVGO pushing up right now? Is it making higher highs? Is it making lower lows? Or is it kind of consolidating? What do you guys think about this? Or is this more consolidating overall? Or is this more consistently uptrending or consistently downtrending? I would have to say that it has this range that it's almost trading at. It's trading at around $20 to around $30. Obviously, that's an amazing range, right? The percentage is definitely there from the low points and the high points. But the thing that I want you to be aware of is by understanding the low points and high points based off of previous resistance levels, it can give you an understanding of when something is more on the overbought side, so not a good deal, or when something is more on the oversold side and a little bit more of a better deal. So if your job as a trader is to buy something and sell it for a profit, would it make sense to buy it closer to previous resistance levels, or would it make sense for you to set your alerts so when this thing gets at a price point that it's bounced at before, that you can revisit it and buy it at a lower price point? That's when I think it would make a little bit more sense. This is almost a perfect example of why it's so important, again, to understand previous patterns. Obviously, this thing can continue to push up as patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't always have to. But in my opinion, LVGO would be more of a sell right now than a buy. And I think a lot of you guys could agree with that as well. So here it goes. I'm going to go ahead and break down one more, and we're going to go from there. So let's see. So APT, let's see, Sean. Let's see what we got going on here. Alrighty, so I don't like this one. I don't like pump and dumps. And I don't, yeah. So it looks like this is probably something that's popping up on a lot of people's scanners. It looks like all of a sudden it's just gone huge hype. I don't know anything about this, so I might be completely wrong. But overall, something trading from $5 up to $49, and then next week trading right back down to 10 just isn't showing me the best signs of stability, right? With obviously great opportunity comes great responsibility, and it looks like this thing gets pumped. Obviously, this is not something that if you're a beginner trader, I would ever consider trading, as again, a lot of unfortunate people just get caught in the very top. It ends up dropping and never has to, one of the things that we've shared so many times before is just because something goes up, doesn't mean that it has to continue to uptrend, right? It can pull back, or altogether, if you buy at $49 and then it pulls back, it doesn't ever have to hit $49 again. It can continue to sell off until it gets delisted. So please understand that. So I don't want to spend too much time when it comes down to breaking down that lower cap stock, but that's just me. So let's go ahead and do this one. So APA, thank you again, Blake. So APA, here we go. Big drop here. Overall, it looks like it was aggressively selling off. It's trying to find a support here. Direction is not super clear right now for APA, so because of that, I'm going to set my alerts and we can simply follow up with it. If it begins to make higher highs and direction is more clear, then great. But as of right now, I don't want to put my money in something that is consolidating or overall selling off or showing signs of a descending pattern. And I'm sure you guys could all understand why, right? It pays to be patient in this market. So let's go ahead and let's do one more. JNUG. All right. here we go. So JNUG with a big drop all the way down to 2.90. A lot of consolidation. Again, direction is super unclear, especially at the price point that it's trading at right now. Right now it's at $4.32, hit lows of overall $2.90. This is something that has been trading so inconsistently for the past 2 to 3 weeks. So please, don't get stuck in an unfortunate trade. JNUG, JDST, gold all together. I'm not saying that obviously you can make money doing anything, but gold as of right now, just with overall market conditions, is super volatile. And I do agree, you can make great money with this volatility, just as quick as you can lose it. So I hope that you guys know that to prepare and set yourself up for success, you need to have some form of risk management, and you need to make sure that you only take advantage of opportunities that the upside potential outweigh the downside, and that you at least take a couple steps in which that are in your overall best interest. And as of right now, the overall direction just isn't looking very good for JNUG. But let me go ahead, and I just wanted to quickly talk about natural gas, as I know a lot of people were asking me what happened with natural gas right before the market closed. This literally came out of nowhere. I don't know if you guys were paying attention on Friday, but right around 10 o'clock, 10:30, all of a sudden natural gas began to aggressively push up. And if you guys go on over to you guys can see that it went from trading at $20, or what was this, $21.50, to hitting highs of $24.69. This push was huge when it comes down to it really not moving very much for a majority of the day. And one of the things that we can see here is if my little trend line tool actually begins to work, well, from 21.50 to about, shoot, my thing is not working. There it goes. So a little bit over 13% from when it actually began to move. Not from the overall day, but for when it actually began to move. So it closed the day almost up 20% on the day. So this is a perfect example on when it comes down to, what happened. There's a bunch of news articles in which that you guys can read. And I would always encourage you guys to do your own due diligence when it comes down to looking into a stock or an ETF. But as of right now, natural gas, there's hope that they slow down production, so that they cut back on overall production. And like you guys know, if someone cuts down on production when it comes down to the production of natural gas, that means that there's going to eventually be less supply. And by there being less supply and hopefully greater demand, that can either stabilize the aggressive drop, or in the aggressive way that natural gas is dropping right now. But as of right now, I would just have to say that one of the things that is just very relevant right now for natural gas is this overall idea that they slow down on production, that there's hope for natural gas to slow down on production. And because of that hope, that acted as a bullish sentiment when it came down to the overall movement of natural gas. We have so many people right now asking me to break down LK, and the reason that I will not break down LK is, first of all, no one posted it in the ticker call out format, and I don't like to trade companies that are just being hyped up. It's 100% a huge just hype stock. It looks like it dropped from $27 all the way down to $5, and people are freaking out. At the end of the day, it's not showing any signs of a recovery. And if it does, then you guys can do your part. Please, instead of trying to listen to everyone about what you should buy or what you should sell, just do yourself a favor and set yourself up for success. Stop listening to what everyone else is trying to trade or make money on, and just understand what it is that you are doing. People are so opinionated in this market, and you should never, when someone tells you that you should buy something, or you should, invest in this, or you should trade this, I would really encourage you to take time to learn not just about how much money you can make, but also how much money you can lose as well. Again, one of the big parts when it comes down to being a trader or an overall investor is to have an understanding of what is going on. And I really hope that everyone that is starting to learn how to trade, that is starting to learn how to invest, really takes initiative when it comes down to the trades that you are taking, and try to block that idea of trying to listen to other people and not have an understanding on what it is that you're doing, and really just try to do yourself a favor and we say it so many times. We just the overall idea of making sure that every trade that you take today is something that your future self will thank you for, right? So I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. I know that a lot of you guys are probably gonna probably just want to head on out anyway. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope that I earned your thumbs up. I'm really excited to see what this overall week has to offer. There's a lot of volatility right now with natural gas. There's a lot of volatility right now with the overall market and the way that it's moving. Please, this is a time where there's opportunity everywhere. But again, with great opportunity comes great responsibility. And let's just make sure that we do ourselves a favor and only take trades or investments that in which we understand the risk of. It's not about just taking a trade because we can, but it's taking a trade because it actually makes sense, because the overall upside potential outweighs the downside. So I think that's a great mindset in which that we can start this week off of. Let's be selective. Let's be empowered to allow that or give something time to wait for confirmation. And yeah, that's really just it. So for all of our Learn Plan Profit members, so they're all spamming. Yeah, it's really hard for me to concentrate when everyone is just spamming a bunch of different ticker symbols and no one's posting it in the ticker call out format. But I'm really excited to see what this overall week has to offer. I will see the Learn Plan Profit team tomorrow at Market Open. So we'll be trading live at, 6:30 a.m. here in Arizona. So if you guys want to check that out, again, don't forget to join our free Facebook group. That's going to be that first link down below. Feel free to refresh your page if you guys don't see it just yet. Also, if you guys want to learn a little bit more about the Learn Plan Profit Group and you guys want to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, the Learn Plan Profit Group is the only group that I work with on a closer basis, and they get to watch me trade live literally every single day, Monday through Friday. So again, that's that second link down below if you guys want to see what it is that it has to offer, and it's a full breakdown on our welcome page. Like always, team, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.